Remember our momentum from our first game to our last game, we are getting better. This one's going to be even better, alright? This one's going to be even better. Again, every moment of the game matters. We give 100% every moment of the game, alright? All those meters that we make hard, they will add up to something, alright? They will all add up to something. The harder we do it, the easier it is. The harder we do it, the easier this game gets, alright? Let's get hands in big Cyclones, alright? Make them hear it. Cyclones are through. 1, 2, 3, Cyclones! Who's starting?
30 seconds, plays referees, 30 seconds. Plays and referees ready.
Welcome back here to Dubbo. We move to the 18 boys division with Nelson Bay getting first use of the ball up against Carlingford. Two sides wearing very similar outfits, but the black shorts are how you can distinguish them the best. Nelson Bay with first use of it as Jason Stanton joins me in commentary. And this one should be a very fast-paced fixture. There's a lot of pace across both sides.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of the Cyclones yesterday from Carlingford. So I was interested to see whether they've made some corrections, some development. Generally, teams improved throughout the event, and they're probably a fraction off their best yesterday. So let's see how they go today.
Well, here is Carlingford now, driving upfield nice and quickly. Through the centre they come. It's Jeremy Studdert. Knight is an option there as well. Offered to Knight now. Last play as the touch is made from Mullins. They go to the open side of the field, but nothing really doing there. Bit of miscommunication to close out the set.
Yeah, one of the things that was a feature of the Carlingford team's game yesterday was their resilience in defence. They were scrambling and diving and kept hanging in there. So that'll be something that Nelson Bay would be eager to try and overcome, maybe with a couple of early tries.
Get a nice little roll on here. Quick hands too. They've worked it beautifully. Off for the prize is Tyak. And they go in. 1-0. Nelson Bay lead.
Yeah, a bit of an ominous sign there because there wasn't much in that one, was there? Just sort of driving, flowing across the halfway line, and they picked up a number and were good enough to exploit it. So Cyclones are going to have to reset here again, see if they can get one back.
So Carlingford with use of the ball now. Working through the middle of the field as it is played here. I'll be in an acting half. It's Corbin Ross. Very sloppy play the ball though. There's not much they can do with that one.
Yeah, I haven't checked the form actually of this Nelson Bay outfit, but one of the things that we've seen with the stadium games is often you can throw the form out the window because the teams lift and they're on the main stage and things change a bit.
Quick hands here, last play now for Nelson Bay as they bounce off the left foot here with McDermott, the captain. Can't quite link up with the man that he would like to. So instead, Carlingford have a chance to work it away from their own end now. Touch is made. They pop a short ball here for Hugo Brown. Brown caught about 10 metres shy of the halfway line. As the dummy comes in from Friedman. Last play here, Friedman off the right foot, popping it back through the middle. Oh, just a half a gap it opened up, but they lost their footing there. So Nelson Bay get a chance to work it away and up over halfway for that matter.
Yeah, I think that Nelson Bay to a certain degree is still feeling their way into it. I know they're up 1-0, but I still think they're finding their feet.
They might be able to find more than just the feet here as they tap it on midway through the flight, midway through the count. Watts pops it out here. Good little ball. The dummy comes once more, beautifully worked, and Tyaka's got his second for the match. 2 tries to nil. Nelson Bay running hot to begin this one.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there for Carlingford because I felt as though that they had that handled in defence. Maybe a bit of lack of communication, a bit of a misread there. But when Nelson Bay, when they come in at that speed, it makes it hard. The defence doesn't have long to react there. So 2-0.
Carlingford looking to get themselves on the board here. They've lost that one, but after the touch was made, so they'll go back to the mark and play it. Largo. Now it's away here through Jesse Knight. Still looking for some kind of an opening here. I think forthcoming. Studdert up towards the defensive line. They hit it at pace, long ball, but they're well marked up. There's a pass thrown in hope more than anything else. Nowhere for Suddy to go. And also on the follow-up, nowhere for Studdert to go. So they've got all the answers at the moment. Stanto in defence, Nelson Bay.
Yeah, Nelson Bay doing well. I'd like to see the Cyclones maybe with a little bit more eyes up footy because one of the defenders there in Nelson Bay actually slipped, but they still ran through the play with the long ball. So it's one of the things we do sometimes when we're playing. We get a bit focused on the play, and sometimes eyes up footy works well.
Oh, quick hands, and the flick pass was a good one. It was all backwards, just a little hard to take around the ankles, but beautifully worked there for Nelson Bay. They made something out of nothing. They head upfield now through Sutty. Sutty in an acting half. Fresh players onto the field here for Carlingford. Last play now. Picked up and driven forward through Jesse Knight, but no opening forthcoming.
Yeah, Nelson Bay were pressing there. James, this is a bit of a problem here with they've lifted the tempo here. Carlingford's going to have to go with them.
The dummy comes out. Now they hop into acting half and then head back towards the middle here, Nelson Bay. They're really cruising through their sets and upfield. Xavier Stewart. Now it's worked here from McDermott, the captain. Long pass. Oh, what a ball that is. And hitting the spot exactly at the right time is Tyler Samias. And it's 3-0 in favour of Nelson Bay.
Yeah, that was sharp. And not a lot Sudi could do on the wing there because I think they had a 1 or 2 player overlap. He sort of come in, seen if he could spoil a bit. But Nelson Bay just too crisp. And this is looking a little bit ominous as we mentioned because Nelson Bay have definitely raised their game now, and this 3-0 could actually blow out unless Cyclones can come back with something.
The Cyclones, as you mentioned there, Jason Stanton needs something. They need it pretty quickly. It's only been about 6.5 minutes of play, but scoreboard pressure is a very real thing. So they try and exploit them down a short side. It's a good effort there. I think that might have been Corbin Ross. Yes, it was. He's caught in the end, though. So changeover comes in favour of Nelson Bay. They pass it deep in their own end, all the way on the try line, taking that one before heading forward. That's a great driving run up towards the box itself. Flat pass at the line, making sure they continue up over the advantage mark itself. Nice quick roll ball, and the play has a real flow about it here for Nelson Bay. They pick it up and scoot again, opening up the channel. Now they've worked it well. If they could have got that final pass out to the wing, it was a try on offer.
Yeah, and that was just speed of play. Carlingford unable to have, make their backwards speed match that forward speed of Nelson Bay. I particularly like the way that they were substituting there, James, because sometimes it's a little bit stop-start when the subs are coming on, but Nelson Bay have been able to charge on, maintain flow, I think you mentioned there, which was really good, and they're a handful for Carlingford.
They've handed it over here, though, Carlingford. Just had a little look too. We don't have Oscar Moy out there anywhere that I can see who's registered in 88. I think he might actually be the 38 because we do have a 38 playing. No 88 on the sideline or on the field. So we're going to roll with Oscar Moy being in the 38 here. Yeah, we Carlingford get the use of the ball.
Yeah, we possibly had a bit of an error on the changeover or the substitution. So we've gone back and now it's Cyclones with an opportunity.
So Ross gets the pop pass. Now through the middle they come with Ethan Friedman. There is Moy. Moy drops it down. Friedman slowing things just for a moment here. They've stepped up nicely. That's really good defensive pressure. They never began retreating until that play was well and truly dead. And that's ultimately the impact you can see from that rising defensive line.
Yeah, Nelson Bay doing really well by, really pressing in the middle, and generally sometimes teams will present maybe one defender and the rest try and, retreat. Nelson Bay are presenting 2 and 3, which is a bit of a spoiling or, a blitzing type defence. Has its pros and cons. It's sort of susceptible to running at those defenders, so we'll see whether Carlingford can do that.
Well, Nelson Bay, however, certainly can. They changed the angle nice and late, and Xavier Stewart is the beneficiary. He goes in and makes it 5-0.
Yeah, and this is, I think we mentioned it early, Carlingford are going to try and find something here. This could easily blow out to that, 10-12-0 scoreline if they can't respond. Nelson Bay certainly have gone another gear, and if they keep this intensity, it's going to be really hard for the Cyclones to handle.
Just a little confirmation there, actually 4-0. I've put an extra little line on my sheet here, Jason, but 4-0 is the score in favour of Nelson Bay. They'll get another set to play with here though, Carlingford. Just a loose foot in the ruck there. The Nelson Bay team.
Yeah, we call that a preemptive try, James. Mark it down early. Preemptive. It's coming.
If you've ever seen my handwriting, you'll know very quickly that this is just about as neat as I get, unfortunately. As Largo is caught on that 7-metre mark, Ross fires it back to the middle of the field. Knight is also there. Here he is now. Through the middle they come. Ward over the top. Oh, just a little high there for Hugo Brown. 10 minutes into this one.
And that was the same thing that we mentioned earlier, James, where the number was actually on the right side for the attack, or the top side of your screen, but because it was almost like a preset move, they end up running it back to the left. So I'd like to see Carlingford maybe a little bit more eyes up footy. I think they can really benefit from maybe just playing what's in front of them instead of just rolling out the move.
For Nelson Bay, the Neptunes up over halfway here. Big touch made from Alexander Ward, one of the 2 Ward boys in this side as they come at pace again here. Nelson Bay, oh, how about the footwork? Nearly beat them all, but Ward was good enough just to get the slightest fingertip as he was stepping back towards the inside. Last play now. They work it once more here. The Neptunes over the top. What a take that is. Was there a touch? I don't think so. Another try here for Carlingford. Sorry, no, for Nelson Bay.
Yeah, was that Ibel? Was it the number 5? He looked really sharp on his feet for the for the quick release, the dive overs, and then he's been able to produce a sensational long ball with tough gusting wind in that corner. The wind is quite difficult there, and he was able to execute.
It has picked up again, the wind here. Try and see if we can get a measure on it at the conclusion of this particular match to see just how quickly it is blowing as they drop that one inside the 7. Ross nowhere to go though. Good pressure jamming in from McDowell. Frederick plays it down. Friedman it is. Oh, Friedman nearly got away from them. Good touch made though from Brock Ibel. So he's been heavily involved in the last few minutes, Ibel.
Yeah, pretty good attack there too from Cyclones. That's what I'd like to see a little bit more of. But you mentioned the wind picking up. Can you get us any, like you do the weather at Fox? You got any like inside tips? Can you tap into your network?
Let me tell you
a bit of a wind speed?
Exactly what is going on, if I can here. There's a noodle of things that I'm trying to do right now, Jason Standard, thank you very much. One of those is commentate a football match. However, what we are seeing right now is I believe a southwesterly coming across. So that's why it's feeling a little bit cooler as well at the moment, despite the forecast temperature of 28 degrees. Is that satisfying your weatherman craving just then?
Yeah, because my being a bit of a boat man, I'm going to go with like 8 or 9 knots. So I want to see what you come up with.
8 or 9 knots. Well, here they go. They've put another notch on the board. Forget not. It is a notch here for the Neptunes. Another try. That makes it a half dozen. 6-0.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I got the name right. Was that Aoki? I think it was Logan Aoki. It was just a really, really sharp finish. And I think the running lines for Nelson Bay are just crisp. They're not too aggressive. They're just holding their channel, letting the ball do its work. And yeah, it's really, really impressive stuff.
A lot of work to do here. Friedman is out there for Carlingford. He opts in at acting half now, but he just can't scoop it up. Unfortunately there, Ethan Friedman leaves it behind. And they're just compounding their own woes here at the moment, Carlingford. Nice little evasive run, picking up extra meterage there for the Neptunes as they play it directly on the halfway line. Touch comes in from Friedman. Still a couple of plays in this one for them as Stewart drives forward, leaves it behind. Now it's picked up from Howarth. Howarth gets in behind them. Howarth, what a ball that is. And arriving at just the right moment was Nash Campbell, who makes it 7-0 to Nelson Bay.
Yeah, that was great work there by Howarth, and it's been something that we've been highlighting, I think, throughout the whole tournament, is that when the scooper goes through, breaks the line and gets to the in goal, that's when it's quite difficult to sort of find the right option. But Howarth on that occasion kept running. He arced around into the in goal, nice and patient, found the open player. So that was a very, very strong execution of skill there from Howarth.
Moy rolls it back here now, Studdert. Back to the middle with Alex Ward. Ward threatening to link up with his outside man, who ended up overrunning him, so turned it back here to Jeremy Studdert. He plays it now, last play, and they're a little bit slow to capitalise on that roll ball. Nowhere to go. It's all a bit haphazard at the moment. There's dummies without much movement. Studdert is caught. That must be one of the worst sets they've put together so far, Carlingford.
Yeah, they're probably not their best one, but it's, I said, you know, like they're playing whatever it is, you know, like maybe 5, 6, 7 games over the period. It's very hard to be up and be playing perfect every set for every game. So you're going to have your ups and downs, and you want to try and, you know, aim for consistency as best you can.
Eibel finds support here in the form of Watts. Watts gets it wider still, and Tyack has a hat trick.
Yeah, great try. Again, we're seeing this. The Nelson Bay as they come over halfway through this midfield, when they sweep on, it just sort of creates so many opportunities. And you might have heard some coaches even through the commentary, people talking about latching or you know, sweeping on with a latch and that sort of thing. A bit of a tip if you're on the defensive side, as they're sweeping on, you can't afford to roll. That's what they want you to do. You've got to press up, make a bit of an effort, and meet those players coming on. And Cyclones unfortunately haven't been able to do that, but that's something they might be able to try for the rest of this game and future games, meeting the players that are substituting on.
Last play now here for the Cyclones. Ross left with nowhere to go. Once more, that up and in defence from the Neptunes is just causing so many issues when they're trying to shift that ball laterally. They pick up good meters here too with Fletcher McDowell. Up over halfway they come now, so strong driving runs, and that's a beautiful continuation of the process here. Logan Aoke hops in an acting half now. Aoke, beautiful ball, and I'll tell you what, that is all Aoke. They go straight through the gap. Try time 9-0 in favour of Nelson Bay.
Yeah, just a quick one on those running lines, James. So what Nelson Bay are doing is, sometimes if you're the support player, you sort of hold straight and then you cut in like on a 45-degree angle, or you cut sharply back into the hole. That's one way to run a hole. What Nelson Bay's doing is they're actually just a gentle line coming back into their hole nice and tight, letting the ball do the work rather than the player. And it's really an advanced skill, and sometimes you miss it a bit in the coverage, but they're actually running some nice gentle lines. If we had a camera like down the field, like north-south, you'd actually see some really impressive movement there from Nelson Bay.
So Carlingford with the little wraparound. I think that might have been touched in flight potentially. It really did pop up once it was released, but not ruled as such here. Fortunately for Studdert, trying to find the connection. Taking a little look as well at the ladder, and it is the Carlingford side still looking for their first victory of the tournament so far. They've had a bye. They've also had the 3 starts for 3 losses. Nelson Bay causing problems again, and they have been causing a few problems throughout the tournament. They've had 1 win, 1 draw, and a loss for 10 points. They're definitely in finals contention, sitting in 5th at the moment, Stanton.
Yeah, 5th. How many is this their 3?
This will be their 4th game.
4th game they've had 3. Okay.
So they'll be picking up their 2nd victory here. Sloppy play the ball. They'll rule in favour of Carlingford here. So this is a good chance to get their first try of the match. Just under 7 minutes remaining as Ward taps it and heads here to Friedman. Friedman back to Ward. They float out once again. We haven't seen too much from, I think that might be Lucas Hosking. He's wearing the 13, but I haven't seen a 23 floating around, so that might well be him. So they pop it back towards the middle. Oh, but no one was looking at it. Friedman not happy about that, but in fairness, he should always be willing to be an option.
Yeah, you got to stay alive there. When you're mentioning some of the results and like the ladders and that, we saw last week in the Southern Conference that quite a few divisions, it actually came down to for and against on who actually made it through the final stage. So definitely in these sorts of tournaments, you've got to ladder watch a little bit and see where you're going to end up.
Well, they're certainly putting themselves in good stead here. Nelson Bay, however, that pass is between middle link and wing. It's somewhere directly on the grass, in fact. So they can't completely capitalise on that occasion. They are looking for the double digits with about 5 minutes to go. Friedman stepping off the right foot as Charlie Mullins comes up to make the touch. Friedman, short ball here. Supplied for Oscar Moy. And they're at pace and just half a gap opening up. Again, they couldn't capitalise. Nash Campbell was there to make the touch, even if they were to take it, but a knock on instead. And then a bit of back chat too, just compounding issues here for themselves.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little bit frustrating when you're up against such a flawless performance. I sort of expected the Neptunes to be strong, but not this strong, James. This is really a top class performance from the Neptunes.
Barely put a foot wrong, and they'll get another set to play with here. So the double digits is very much under threat as Aoke goes at them once again. Short ball supplied. McDowell just can't find a way through. Watts is floating around the back there. They haven't played it correctly though. They've got to be square, of course. That is the changeover in favour of Carlingford. They'll like that.
Yeah, not bad. I think I did say 10 or 12 nil early, so do I get any bonus points if I get it right?
I'm not here to give you praise when there's punishment on offer for one of the teams. That's not how this works.
I was just trying to...
I could say you're a very good analyst.
I was just encouraging Nelson Bay to be all they can be, James. And I felt like a 10 to 12 nil scoreline.
I'm sorry, I'm doing the tall poppy syndrome thing, aren't I? Here we go back to the middle.
Come on, Cyclones, get a try.
There we go, that's what I want to see, Stanto.
I love being proven wrong. Come on, Cyclones, get one back.
I don't think you do. There's enough to go on that suggests you don't like being proven wrong, my friend.
I'm really eager for a 10 nil score.
Up over halfway come Nelson Bay now. And they keep the dummies working here. Pressure in from Jeremy Stilder. He makes the touch. And now Stewart. Out the back, there's an option here. Oh, just punching the ball. Volleyball style in the end. It's not that kind of sport.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get that play to work. What they're trying to run there is the link that's coming out the back is trying to get quite deep. It's almost like in the pocket, or you might have heard some of the commentators say like a passive line, or they're not hitting onto the hole. That's what they're trying to run there, Nelson Bay. They're fraction off. They've probably got to get the link a little bit deeper and get the pass sort of in front of him for that to work. So that'll be something they'll probably try and get right coming into finals. Try and be able to run that backdoor or passive. There's lots of different names, but that's the idea.
Well, as it stands, this result will certainly put them in finals contention. So they'll be picking up their second victory so far. They've already had the bye. And depending on other results, they could be as high as second after this one here, Nelson Bay. Obviously, there's still another match to go at least. I think we might even have 6 for this division in total. So Nelson Bay back to the 7-metre mark as they fling it out here. Stewart now in an acting half. Drops it short. Lovely little pass here. They delay it nicely, and Howarth is the beneficiary of it. That is officially the double digits. Jason Stanton, there you go. There is your official pat on the back. You've picked it.
Yeah, nothing. I have got a smile from ear to ear. I don't normally get too excited by the scoreline, but...
But when you've put money on it...
I haven't got any money on it.
I'm just saying, we're not supposed to be betting on this, you realise.
I didn't know if there, I didn't even know if there was betting.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think there's any betting, but I was just pretty excited because I thought if Nelson Bay put forward a pretty good game, it was possible. So, come on, Cyclones, get one. Prove me wrong. You got one in your Cyclones.
Well, they've got 90 seconds to do exactly that, and they are in a good position here to try and punch through the line. Last play now, but they won't do it on this occasion, Jason Stanton. They might get a few plays after the end of this set here from Nelson Bay, but it'll be working from their own end, so I don't think we're going to see them trouble the scorer's board today.
Yeah, well, hopefully they get one more chance of it. And this is Nelson Bay. See these substitutions, how they're sweeping on and they're sort of like wrapping out or going wide from the box. This is one of their very strong plays that they run. I think that one might have been off the mark potentially.
Well, here we go, so we will get a full set for Carlingford to play with. They're still pumped, the boys. They don't want to do the nudie run. It's, of course, what would you say, a standard rule if you don't manage to get a single point involved. I know certainly we were playing a bit of pool last night. If we didn't manage to sink a ball, that was on the cards.
Yeah, nudie runs were in the 1980s, mate. It's none of that stuff these days, mate. Take it easy.
No, they've taken all the fun out of it, haven't they? 43 years, and this is what happens.
Here we
Another
go.
penalty here in favour of Carlingford. So 20 seconds on the clock, about 20 metres away from the try line.
Go to
They'll have
Cyclones.
about 3 plays here. They
Am I
roll
allowed
it
to cheer?
quickly.
Am I allowed to cheer for a team? Come on, Cyclones. You got one in there.
Well, I mean, I'm the one that has to be neutral. You can do whatever you like. You're the analyst. You can be like Fatty Vorden when it comes to Origin time, but unfortunately you're not going to have much to cheer about there. Jason Stanton, they've left it behind again. There'll be one final play here to wrap things up for the Nelson Bay Neptunes, and they might even be able to get some sort of a try. That's definitely gone forward. That'll be a changeover. Surely they'll call it, or will they let this one play out? And they are going to let them have one final play here, Carlingford, so they can, if they keep it alive, there's still a chance. I'm always hopeful. They've got to keep going here, Carlingford.
Yeah, we're looking for the grandstand finish.
I don't think they're going to get it. Friedman tosses it away. It doesn't really find anyone in time. And at full time, it is 10 tries to nil, a comprehensive and thorough thrashing at the hands of the Nelson Bay Neptunes. Up here next, we move to the 16 girls division between Ballina and Gunnedah. All the action live, exclusive and free on Bar TV and New South Wales.
Give us a good commentary.
Anyone lose a fiver?
Ben Slippy.